Adanna's heart stopped when she realized her daughter wasn't beside her. One moment, 7-year-old Zara had been holding her hand, marveling at the colorful abstract paintings in the Seoul Contemporary Art Center. The next moment, she was gone. "Zara!" Adanna called out, her voice rising with panic. She spun around, scanning the crowded gallery. Wealthy patrons in designer clothes blocked her view. "Zara!" Her husband David was across the room, deep in conversation with a group of Korean businessmen, completely oblivious. Of course, always networking, always focused on the next deal, even on what was supposed to be a family vacation. Adanna pushed through the crowd, her burgundy dress suddenly feeling suffocating. Her chest tightened with mother's fear, that primal terror every parent knows. "Excuse me, have you seen a little girl? 7 years old, braids with pink beads." People shook their heads, annoyed at the disruption. A security guard approached, speaking rapid Korean she couldn't understand. She switched to English. "My daughter. I can't find my daughter. She was just here." "Madam, please calm down. We help you look." But Adanna couldn't calm down. Couldn't wait. What if someone had taken Zara? This was a foreign country. They didn't know anyone here. Seoul was supposed to be safe. But what if? She ran down a corridor away from the main exhibition, checking every corner, every alcove. "Zara, baby, where are you?" Then she heard it, a child's giggle, coming from behind a door marked with Korean characters. Relief flooded through her so intensely she nearly collapsed. She grabbed the handle, threw the door open, already calling her daughter's name. "Zara, don't you ever." The words died in her throat. This wasn't where Zara was. This was a private bathroom. And inside, two people were very much not alone. A man stood against the marble sink, his head thrown back, face toward the ceiling. Expensive black suit jacket discarded on the floor. White dress shirt unbuttoned completely, revealing a torso that looked carved from stone. Every muscle defined. His trousers were pushed down. A woman knelt before him, her designer dress hiked up around her thighs, her perfectly styled hair gripped in his hand as she. Adanna's breath caught audibly. The man's eyes snapped open. Dark. Impossibly dark. They locked onto hers with predatory intensity. For a frozen moment, neither moved. The woman continued, completely lost in what she was doing, unaware of their audience. He didn't stop her, didn't push her away, didn't look embarrassed or caught. Instead, his lips curved into a slow, devastating smile. His free hand came up, and he pressed one finger to his lips. Sure. Then, still watching Adanna, still smiling, he mouthed 4 words that would change everything. "Do you want next?" Adanna slammed the door and ran. Wait, if you're new here, stop right now and subscribe. Turn on notifications because this story is about to get darker, messier, and more addictive than anything you've watched before. Comment what time it is where you are and whether you would have stayed or run. Have you ever seen something you couldn't unsee? Drop it below. Now let's get back because it gets so much worse. Adanna crashed through the gallery, her heels clicking frantically on marble. Her face burned with humiliation and something else, something she refused to name. She pushed past guests, ignoring their irritated glaze. Her hands shook. Her heart raced, not just from the shock, but from something darker, something that made her skin tingle and her stomach clench with unfamiliar heat. "Mommy!" Zara's voice cut through her panic. Adanna spun to see her daughter standing with a gallery attendant, completely safe, holding a balloon someone had given her. "Baby!" Adanna rushed over, pulling Zara into a fierce hug. "Where were you? You scared me to death." "I saw the balloon cart outside and went to look." "Sorry, Mommy. The nice lady brought me back." Adanna thanked the attendant profusely, her hands still trembling as she held her daughter. David appeared, finally noticing something was wrong. "There you are. What happened? You look pale." Zara wandered off. "I was searching everywhere." David frowned. "You need to watch her more carefully. We can't have her getting lost in a foreign country." The criticism stung, especially coming from the man who'd been too busy networking to notice his own daughter was missing. Adanna bit back a sharp response. "I know. I'm sorry. The exhibition is about to start. Come on, we have good seats." David placed his hand on her lower back, steering her toward the main hall. Adanna felt nothing. His touch was familiar, comfortable, completely void of electricity. When was the last time David's touch had made her feel anything? Stop it, she told herself. Stop comparing. What you saw was wrong, sinful, disgusting. Except her body didn't think it was disgusting. Her body was still humming with an awareness she'd never experienced in 7 years of marriage. They settled into their seats, Zara between them with her balloon. The lights dimmed. A woman in an elegant black dress stepped onto the stage. Distinguished guests, tonight we present one of Korea's most provocative contemporary artists. His work explores the hidden darkness of human desire, the things we pretend don't exist. Please welcome Lee Jae-sung. Adanna's stomach dropped. No, it couldn't be. But it was. The man from the bathroom walked onto the stage, now fully dressed in all black, looking like sin personified. Confident, powerful, dangerous. His eyes scanned the crowd and found hers immediately, unerringly. That same knowing smile curved his lips. Adanna's vision tunneled. Her breathing became shallow. This couldn't be happening. Mr. Lee. David whispered excitedly beside her. This is perfect. I've been trying to get a meeting with him for months. His legal needs for international sales could be huge for our firm. Jae-sung stepped up to the microphone. When he spoke, his voice was deep, rich, hypnotic. Good evening. Tonight, I want to talk about obsession. His eyes never left Adanna's. About the moment you see something that changes you forever. About desire so powerful it destroys everything you thought you knew about yourself. Adanna felt like she was suffocating. Around her, the audience listened raptly. But Jae-sung was speaking only to her. Every word was a message. A promise. A threat. We pretend to be civilized, he continued. We hide our true nature behind respectability, marriage, religion. But art reveals truth. And the truth is, we're all animals underneath. Hungry, desperate, willing to destroy everything for one taste of real passion. Someone beside her murmured appreciation. David nodded, impressed by the artistic philosophy. But Adanna knew better. This wasn't philosophy. This was a declaration of intent. When Jae-sung finished to thunderous applause, David immediately stood. We have to introduce ourselves. This is the opportunity we came here for. David, I don't think. Adanna, this is business. Important business. Come on. He grabbed her hand, pulling her toward the crowd surrounding Jae-sung. Zara held her other hand, her balloon bobbing above them. With every step closer, Adanna's heart raced faster. This was wrong. Dangerous. She should fake illness, should grab Zara and leave. But David was already pushing through. Mr. Lee, my name is David Obi. I'm an investment banker with connections throughout Africa, and this is my wife, Adanna. She's senior partner at one of Nigeria's top corporate law firms. Jae-sung toned, his smile polite but his eyes predatory. Mr. Obi, Mrs. Obi. His gaze dropped to Zara. And who is this beautiful young lady? I'm Zara. I'm 7. She held up her balloon proudly. Do you like my balloon? It's magnificent, Jae-sung said warmly, crouching to her level. Up close, Adanna could see the dangerous charisma that probably made him irresistible. Tell me, Zara, do you like art? Some of it. The colorful ones are pretty. The weird ones are scary. He laughed, genuine and charming. Smart girl. The scary ones are meant to make you feel something real. He stood, his eyes meeting Adanna's. Real feelings are often frightening, aren't they, Mrs. Obi? She couldn't speak. Her throat was closed. David, oblivious as always, continued his pitch. We'd love to discuss representing your interests internationally. Contract negotiations, copyright issues, exhibition agreements. We have extensive experience. I'd be very interested, Jae-sung interrupted smoothly. Tell me, Mr. Obi, do you believe in fate, in destined encounters? I believe in creating opportunities through hard work, David replied, missing the subtext entirely. Of course. Jae-sung pulled out a business card, but he handed it to Adanna, not David. Their fingers brushed. Electricity shot up her arm. Call me. Tomorrow. We'll discuss terms. David beamed, taking this as professional success. Excellent. We'll be in touch first thing. Actually, Jae-sung said, his eyes still on Adanna, I'd prefer to speak with Mrs. Obi. Legal matters are her expertise, correct? No offense, Mr. Obi, but I like dealing directly with the expert. David's smile tightened slightly, his male ego bruised. Of course, Adanna handles all the legal specifics. Perfect. Jae-sung stepped closer to Adanna, lowering his voice so only she could hear. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., my private studio. The address is on the card. Come alone. We have unfinished business to discuss. Before she could respond, he turned and was pulled away by another eager collector. Adanna stood frozen, the business card burning in her hand. David was already steering them toward the exit, excited about the potential client. This could be huge for the firm, he said as they stepped outside into Seoul's cool night air. Lee Jae-sung is worth millions. If we secure him as a client. David, Adanna interrupted. Something happened tonight. He stopped, looking at her properly for the first time. What do you mean? When I was looking for Zara, I saw something I shouldn't have. His expression shifted to concern. Are you all right? Did someone hurt you? No, I walked into the wrong room and saw. How could she explain? I saw that artist. Lee Jae-sung. He was with someone, doing something private. David's eyes widened. You caught him in a compromising position. Yes. He was quiet for a moment. Then his business mind took over. Did he see you? Yes. And he still gave you his card. Interesting. David's mind was clearly calculating angles. He probably wants to make sure you stay quiet. Don't worry. We can use this to our advantage. Discreetly, of course. We won't mention what you saw, but he'll know we know. It gives us leverage. Adanna felt sick. Her husband's first instinct wasn't concern for her well-being. It was how to leverage her trauma for business gain. David, that's not what I... Trust me on this, Adanna. I know how these things work. He squeezed her shoulder absently. Tomorrow when you meet with him, be professional. Don't bring up what you saw unless he does. Let him think we might, though. It'll make negotiations easier. They reached their hotel. David was already on his phone, probably texting a colleague about the potential client. Zara was half asleep, her balloon dragging behind her. Adanna went through the motions. Bath time, story time, tucking Zara in. When she finally collapsed into bed beside David, he was already asleep, snoring softly. Adanna stared at the ceiling, her mind racing. She should delete the business card. Should refuse to go tomorrow. Should tell David everything and let him handle it. But she knew she wouldn't, because something inside her had cracked open tonight. Something she kept locked away for years. And as terrifying as it was, part of her wanted to see where this dangerous path led. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Unknown number. Sweet daughter you have. Pink beads in her braids. Very memorable. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Don't make me wait, Adanna. And come alone. If you bring your husband, you'll regret it. Her blood ran cold. Was that a threat? Against Zara? She should call the police. Should wake David. Should do something. Instead, she found herself typing back. Don't threaten my daughter. The response came immediately. Not a threat. A promise. I always get what I want. And what I want is you. Alone. Tomorrow. The rest of your life depends on the choices you make in that studio. Adanna deleted the messages, her hands shaking. What had she gotten herself into? More importantly, why wasn't she more afraid? Why did part of her feel excited by the danger? She turned to look at David, sleeping peacefully. Her husband of 7 years. Father of her child. Good provider. Faithful. Boring. When was the last time he'd looked at her with real desire? When was the last time his touch had made her feel anything beyond comfortable routine? Jae-sung had looked at her like he wanted to devour her. Like she was the most fascinating thing he'd ever seen. Like he would burn the world down just to have her for one moment. When was the last time anyone had made her feel that way? Never. The answer was never. Adanna closed her eyes, but sleep wouldn't come. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., her life would change forever. Tomorrow, she would either turn back or step into darkness. Tomorrow, she would discover whether she was strong enough to resist temptation or weak enough to give in. And deep down, in a place that terrified her, she already knew which choice she would make. Across the city, Lee Jae-sung sat in his penthouse studio, staring at a canvas. A woman's face. Dark skin. Intelligent eyes. Conflicted expression. He'd been painting her for weeks without understanding why. Now he knew. She'd been coming. Fate had been bringing her to him. Adanna Obi. Married. Respectable. Religious. Repressed. A mother. Even better. Because corrupting someone with so much to lose, someone who thought herself above base desire, that was the ultimate art. Tomorrow, he would begin his masterpiece. Tomorrow, he would start unraveling her carefully constructed life. And when he was done, she would either belong to him completely or be destroyed beautifully. He hadn't decided which outcome he preferred. Both had artistic merit. He poured expensive whiskey, raised the glass to the painting. To Adanna, he murmured, "May you find the courage to become who you really are, even if it destroys everything you've built." Then he drank, already imagining her face when she walked into his studio tomorrow, already planning how he would break her. The next morning, Adanna woke with David's hand on her shoulder, shaking her gently. "Hey, you were having a nightmare. You kept saying no in your sleep." She sat up, disoriented. "What time is it?" 7. "I have meetings all day." "What time is your meeting with Lee Jae-sung?" 2. "Perfect. That gives you time to prepare." David kissed her forehead absently. "Remember what I said. Professional but friendly. Don't mention what you saw unless necessary. Let him think we might use it if we need to." After he left, Adanna sat in bed, staring at Jae-sung's business card on the nightstand. She should throw it away. Should call David and tell him to handle it. Should stay far away from the man who'd looked at her like prey. Instead, she found herself in the shower, preparing carefully, shaving, moisturizing, choosing clothes that were professional but flattering. Black dress, not too revealing but not matronly either. She looked at herself in the mirror. Still the same successful lawyer. Still the same respectable wife and mother. But something in her eyes had changed. Something hungry had awakened. At 1:55 p.m., she stood outside Jae-sung's studio, her hand raised to knock. Last chance. She could still leave. Still save herself. The door opened before she could knock. Jae-sung stood there in paint-splattered jeans and a black t-shirt, looking younger but no less dangerous. "I wondered if you'd actually come," he said. "I'm here for business," she replied, her voice shakier than intended. "Legal representation. That's all." He smiled. "Of course. Come in." She stepped inside, and he closed the door behind her. The sound was final, like a trap closing. "Would you like to know what I think, Adanna?" He stepped closer, invading her space. "I think you came here for the same reason you couldn't look away in that bathroom. Because you're starving for something real. Something your husband can't give you. You don't know anything about my husband. I know everything I need to." His hand came up, tracing her jawline. "I know he didn't even notice his daughter was missing. I know he sees you as a business asset, not a woman. I know you haven't felt desired in years. Am I wrong?" She couldn't answer, because he wasn't wrong. "Let me show you something," he said, taking her hand and leading her deeper into the studio. On an easel sat a painting. A woman's face. Her face. "I painted you 3 weeks ago. Before I met you. Before I knew you existed. Tell me that's not fate." Adanna stayed at the painting, her heart racing. "This is insane." "This is destiny," he corrected. He turned her to face him, his hands on her waist. "You have a choice, Adanna. Walk out that door. Go back to your safe, boring life. Or stay, and let me show you what real passion feels like." She should leave. Should run. Should save her marriage, her family, her soul. But when he kissed her, hard and demanding and consuming, she kissed him back. And in that moment, Adanna Obi chose darkness over light, passion over safety, sin over salvation. And there was no going back. If you made it this far, subscribe now for part 2. Drop a comment. What would you do in her situation? Hit that like button. Share with friends. Part 2 drops tomorrow. This dark steamy obsession is just beginning.